And so the point is, Madam Speaker, the trade order has been suspended until further consultation has been done, and we are sure that it is going to be handled properly to achieve its objective. I thank you.
Thank you.
Just a small clarification, Right Honourable Speaker. Maybe we would request the Minister to write to the different town clerks of the different... Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I was surprised like you that government is not here on such an important day when we are going to do appropriation. But the Honourable Bahati is here, and I wanted to use this opportunity to raise this matter, Right Honourable Speaker, if you allow me. The matter of the new trade order in different towns and cities, because we have waited for him to come and bring a document to this parliament, and he has not. And the Ugandans are outside, they are suffering, stuck. They do not know what to do. When the authorities come, when they are carrying away the kiosks, they take the kiosks plus the goods in the kiosks, and they come abruptly. So, Right Honourable Speaker, if you could allow me to raise that matter, since the Minister of Trade is here, and as we are waiting for the other ministers to come in the House, it would be very important, Right Honourable Speaker. So I would request the Minister to give us a response, to tell us what is the plan, what is the strategy, because people are crying, people are in pain, and now we are going in the time of appropriation where we need to cater for these matters seriously. So I seek your indulgence, Right Honourable Speaker.
You know, the problem that we have with this house, people take coming to the house as optional. This matter was brought on the floor when we were discussing the policy statement of presidential affairs, infrastructure, and then which other committee? That issue was trade. It was also discussed, and you are not in the house. Yes, let's hear from the Minister.
Thank you, Honourable Solomon, for raising this matter. Madam Speaker, since these issues were discussed here, we have received a number of complaints, including the Interreligious Council, and we held a meeting with the Religious Council members, with the Honourable Majezi at his office, with the Minister of Presidency, Minister of Gender, and discussed this matter in detail. The question of the trade order is that we want to bring order in these areas where we are operating. And government had constructed markets, and these markets were not being used, and instead the people were going on the vendors. But we listened to the issues. For example, a church is not supposed to be, or a mosque be bundled with vendors, because they are not in the business of vending. So we have suspended the operation of the trade order until we do more consultations, and we'll have a final meeting at the end of June, so that beginning of July we have a refined way of operating. We did apologize to the religious leaders, because sometimes when our people were moving during this operation, we are making reckless statements, saying this is the first phase, telling the Pentecostals that you go back to where you came from, telling the Muslims that you are making noise, so all kinds of manner. So we apologize to religious leaders. We also met the traders. And so the point is, Madam Speaker, the trade order has been suspended until further consultation has been done, and we are sure that it is going to be handled properly to achieve its objective. I thank you.
Thank you.
Just a small clarification, right, Honourable Speaker. Maybe we would request the Minister to write to the different town clerks of the different cities, I mean the different town councils in the country, because he's saying they have suspended, but actually it is going on. Even yesterday, in my district, they were still evicting people. In Iganga, in Bujiri, they were still evicting people. So, since the minister has committed and said they have stopped, I request that the minister writes a letter officially and gives a copy to Parliament, so that these people are aware, the different civil servants, and they take.
I think this is an interministerial issue. The Prime Minister should be the one to write. Let them have a meeting, and then the Prime Minister communicates. Don't put a rope onto Honorable Bahati's neck. Let it be sent out by the Prime Minister, and if that is what they have agreed. Yes. Yes, Ibrahim.
Thank you very much. When I raised this matter, you directed the Minister for Kampala to bring a statement, which she didn't bring. I am happy the Honorable Bahati says they have suspended. My question to Honorable Bahati: what happens to lives that you have already ruined? Do they reconstruct their businesses? Because in my area, people who were carrying out this exercise, you had the military, police, the technical people, but also goons. They had hired goons like these ones who were in NRM t-shirts during campaigns, stealing and mobile money.
The ones you had addressed in NRM t-shirts. You address them in NRM t-shirts. Let's for Honorable Semuju, let's leave those other issues. If somebody goes and gets a yellow t-shirt, that does not mean that is NRM. But what is important is the excessive force that was being used in evicting these people, in the destruction, is what must be resolved.
I agree with you.
You know, you have a very good point. You have a good point, but when you bring politics into it, you dilute it. But your point is really very, very important.
Madam Speaker, I agree, and I can understand when you have a presiding officer who is also the second vice chairman of NRM.
And also a woman member of parliament under NRM.
So I understand. But the question that the Honorable Bahati must answer, the most critical one: do people reconstruct their lives, I mean their businesses? Two, wherever you want to carry out an exercise like this, can you do it with a human face? Must you go and carry all the rumpens wherever they exist and they're the one insulting people? The things you have said, they cannot be said by policemen and military. But it was a gang. They abuse, they insult. So next time you want to restore trade order, can you do it with a human face?
You know, like what Ibrahim is saying, the army is very, very professional. If you use the army, they will not do like what was reported to Interreligious Council, those kind of utterances. If you use the police, but when you get people, you hire those people, they will just do what they have been told to do.
Madam Speaker, as I said, we are going to continue the consultations to see how best this the objective of this exercise can be achieved, and will ensure that nobody is hurt, nobody is abused, professional people are used to do any government work, so that there is peace. The intention of this is to bring order, and order must be brought in an orderly manner without interfering with people's lives and livelihoods. So the consultations will carry on, but the most important thing to note today as we go into appropriation is that the trade order has been suspended until further notice, and the communication will be out by the Prime Minister. Thank you.
Thank you. We need that communication out so that whatever is happening is put at hold. Yes, Lob.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I'm rising first to react to your communication about the need for members of Parliament to be in this House to perform their duty of appropriation. Yesterday you were clear, Madam Speaker, I was here. The message went out clearly. The front bench, the government chief whip, and a host of ministers were...
Actually, it is the core value.
Yes.
Their core role.
They were present. And Madam Speaker, you know, our friends from the NRM have been priding themselves into the dominance they had in this House. And when an important matter like this is coming up, we don't see them. And when there are other non-important matters, you see them. Yesterday I saw somewhere in town almost a quorum needed to pass legislation here. We're hanging out in a hotel. I don't know whether they have hangover, why they are not here. So I would like to ask the current leader of government business to whip his members to come, as I also do for my side.
Please, can both of you whip your members to be in the House?
Yeah. Secondly, I would like to appreciate the action taken by government to suspend the implementation of the trade order. Madam Speaker, we had raised, and I remember the Honorable Semuju had raised it here. If we had accorded him time at that moment, maybe we would have salvaged something. I think by the time he raised up to now, we have spent about 3 weeks or a month, and the damage to people's lives and property has been enormous. And I hope that next time when something as important as that comes up, this House accords members opportunity to present. I want to say this. Everyone wants this country to be orderly. But I want to caution government that you don't just wake up and then decide to take some actions. You must think through, you must consult. This trade order clearly, I think it was a matter of shooting and then aiming after. There was no consultation, and I'm happy now you are talking that you are going to consult. Why do you start doing something when you have not involved the key stakeholders? That should have been the first step, and I think it's an indictment on the methods of operation of government, which shouldn't be in that direction. Lastly, Madam Speaker, I want to raise this matter. I sit on the side of the opposition, and I am a member of the opposition. I am a member of the opposition. I was disturbed this morning by a video I saw, which was shared with me, of you, the Right Honourable Speaker, somewhere last evening, telling the country that in this parliament where I sit, you have swallowed the opposition. I don't understand the context in which you said it, but to use the word "you have swallowed," you demand to explain to us as members of parliament.
Maybe that is AI.
You will respond. That's why I said I saw.
That is AI. I didn't say anything.
So I want to now warn that AI. That AI should not. Yes. That AI.
I am saying for us, when we're in parliament, we are one. We don't have those divisions.
Can I first raise them?
Yes, but what you're saying is AI.
So whoever is responsible for generating such AIs and circulating such AIs should government...
We should actually arrest them. Those people. We should arrest those people.
Yeah, so as we go into appropriation, Madam Speaker, I want to state that the Constitution guarantees that the members of the opposition are heard in this House. They are not swallowed. They are not walloped. And any other bad thing that AI intended to do to the opposition should not stand. The opposition are not in this country to destroy anything. We are here by virtue of the Constitution. And I want to get commitment that as we go into this appropriation, we are not going to be treated in a partial manner. I know, like the Honorable Semuju has said, Madam Speaker, you are high-ranking and loyal cadre of the party. But when you are seated in that seat, you are not a member of NRM. You are not the national vice chairperson.
Thank you.
Yes, you are a speaker of parliament. And I implore you and I ask you, treat us as the speaker of parliament, even when you are outside. Let's try to keep our dignity as members of the opposition.
I actually treat you better than anybody else.
No, not me. I'm not raising as a person.
You the opposition.
When you make such comments, I don't think that's a good treatment.
No, even this side actually even complains that I favor opposition. That is the unfortunate bit that is there. But
should I be comforted that now you will not swallow, you will not wallow?
Nobody can. That is AI. Yes, Honorable. But you see, this trade order, Honorable Minister, we are not saying it's bad. Recently, I think 2 weeks back, I went to Lira. There is where they call produce something. You'd find the place is now calm. You can walk. I went to Nachivuo one evening. It was calm. But how we do it progressively. Make these people understand that this place is a road reserve. You're not supposed to have this here. And where we need markets to relocate these people, we put these people in gazetted markets. Those who do not want to be in the gazetted market are the ones who should be removed. But they should not be removed using goons like Honorable Semuju is talking about, saying. We should not use goons. We have other ways of removing these people. Yes, James.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker, for allowing me. Right Honorable Speaker, as you have put it, this trade order is not bad because the problem is how do we manage it? What precedes another? Because, Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Semuju.
James, before you bring that.
Yes.
Honorable Minister, you said the trade order has been suspended. Does that mean you're saying that the ones who were removed are going to come back, or you're maintaining the status quo? Because people will go back to the street and say they have suspended, so we go back.
Madam Speaker, the suspension, as we do the consultations and prepare to do better, just means that we are suspending where we had not reached. But where we have covered, it remains the way it is. Those that have already been taken back to the markets, that is the situation. But we are going to continue consulting, and by end of June, we should have a better way of handling this matter. I want to comfort the leader of opposition that there are things that should not really, AI should not bother you a lot because you are here. If somebody said Jonathan is not in the house, would that really bother you because you are here? But you know the position you are in. I thank you.
Thank you. James was on the floor.
Right Honorable Speaker, Honorable Semuju raised something very critical. Because when you are in operation room, operating a woman, if you don't know what to do, you will kill that woman and the child. So, but you are responsible for the deaths of the two. Now, even that you didn't consult and you did things haphazardly, what is your accountability on the loss of the people who were innocent and those ones who also lost their property? Two, Madam Speaker.
We cannot conclude that they were not consulted.
That's what he has said.
No, he has not said that. At least I'm very sober.
Right Honorable Speaker, another thing I want to trace to the Minister of Trade is about the skyrocketing prices of fuel. Right Honorable Speaker, Minister of Energy brought here a request, and we give indeed money to have fuel reserves in Uganda. But as we talk, every minute, the prices of fuel are increasing every minute. What is the problem? Do we have the stock? Or we just duped this nation in the form of reserves? Thank you.
Honorable Minister, we had asked for a report on that, on the fuel reserves. I think last week.
Madam Speaker, everybody understands the economic situation regarding the fuel, especially given what is happening in the Middle East and the world at large. As we have said before, we are monitoring this situation, and government is prepared to ensure that the prices are contained in the context of the economic situation we are in. And I'm sure that at the next sitting, the Minister of Energy can give a report specifically on the reserves that we have in the country. But as far as we are concerned at the moment, it is not Uganda. Actually, we are trying our level best. If you look at what is happening in East African community, Uganda is we are doing our best to contain the prices. If you look at what is happening in the East African community, so the Minister of Energy will be able to make a statement and update the House on the fuel issue next week at the next sitting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. The small clarification I wanted to make as the Minister comes, it is not actually the prices, but even the scarcity. Even when you have the money to buy fuel, most places now, there is totally no fuel. So it is scarcity.
So are they hoarding?
Not that's what we wanted to know. Are people hiding fuel? If fuel is there, are they hoarding the fuel? Because it is not about the price, but fuel is very, very, very scarce now.
Okay.
Madam Speaker, there is a statement attributed to the President. He says if there is no fuel, the price is rising, stay home. Is this now the new policy of NRM, official government position?
Thank you, Right Honourable Right Honourable Speaker. Before the Minister comes in, mine is back on the issue of the trade order. I did receive calls from various people. Many of their things were taken, and these people at council, what they do, they later on tell them, you come with maybe some 200, 300, and we give you back your things that we confiscated. So with the suspension of this trade order, our traders, those who lost their property, the one that is still confiscated, are they going to get it back? Do you have a mechanism of them receiving back their goods and property?
Madam Speaker, as you said, there are some gains on this operation in some parts. There are some gains, there's some order that has been brought in some parts, but also we recognize that the people who were doing, some people who were doing the operation did not do it well to the expectation, according to the guidelines that were issued by the Permanent Secretary of Local Government. I think, Honourable Member, it would be prudent of us now to wait for the consultations we are making, and then we wait and see how best we are going to move forward toward the end of June, when this matter is discussed internally with stakeholders, but also with the cabinet, and then we come to the House and inform you before we move forward. On the issue of fuel, we have enough reserves for for a period, and as I said, we are committed to that to ensure that we stabilize the price. But also we need to note that there are people who speculate in the market. They are speculators. So we are also going to be dealing with that as government, and especially the Minister of Energy will come to you, to the House, and make a statement. But all of us should really continue to know that this issue is externally influenced. It's not internally influenced. All of us know that there is a war going on in Iran. There is that issue, and it's a serious issue. So the president I beg your pardon?
Thank you, Honorable Minister. The question is, under what circumstances would the reserves be used or sent to the market for use, just in case scarcity continues to persist?
The Minister of Energy will come on Tuesday and make a statement to establish the reserves we have, how long they will take us. The only thing is to guarantee and continue to tell people that given the situation we are in, the government will continue to stabilize the price, stabilize supply of fuel to the people. And we are doing actually better than many countries across the East African community. So we should be able to thank His Excellency the President for the leadership of the economy and the leadership of the country at the moment. Thank you.
Honorable Minister, what about the people who are holding fuel? The ones who are holding fuel.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable. I came from West Nile 2 days ago. I went to fuel in Total. Petrol was at 9,900. Arua City, just opposite the regional referral hospital. The following night, it was at 11,000 in Arua. So the prices keep escalating. During the day, they'll bring it down to 7,000, 6,000 in the evening and early morning, because I drove off from 4 a.m. So what are you going to do to these people up country? Jumani, Moyo, Obongi, prices have kept rising day in, day out. During the day, it will come down 8,000, 7,000. How are we supposed to handle this? If we have oil reserves, what are you doing for up country, especially West Nile, and particularly the districts I'm mentioning? Thank you.
Honorable members, but when we passed the Petroleum Supply Act, we said we would have a G2G, government-to-government strategy, and there would be no middle people. And now, because there would be no middle person, now the Minister of Energy is supposed to do surveillance and see who are those people who are putting high prices and why. Because it is only Vitol that is supposed to operate. So why would the prices be high in another area, low in another area? Others are even holding fuel.
In this country, we have a law, the consumer protection. The fuel that is in the country, even if there is been an increase due to exchange rate differences, we should not be expecting big price variations between the fuel here in Kampala and in a place like Arua. So what we need assurance from the government is to tell us the measures they are taking to clamp down on the people. Very good information that the fuel is available, they have orders, but the people who are involved in selling at a very high exorbitant prices are exploiting Ugandans, and this is where we need to see the efforts that are being implemented to make sure that they crack down and protect consumers.
Thank you.
Madam Speaker, it's true that all the fuel is being brought in by UNOC, our government institution. And we know the list of people who buy from UNOC. So we know the and at what price. So we are going to follow up to ensure that there is no price distortion in the market, and also we have enough, to the extent possible, enough fuel stock in the market. So on Tuesday, we'll be able to give a thorough explanation on this, but the good thing is that we are the ones buying fuel we are the ones selling to the people who are selling to the population.
And that was the basis of passing that law.
Yes, and so we will be able to monitor that and stop this speculation and distortion of the prices.
And when
in the
we
market.
get that feedback?
Madam,
because it is something that is very serious.
Madam, can we request on Tuesday because...
No, first a communication out there that stop hoarding fuel and the issues of having the prices being... Okay.
During the sitting, we'll be able to talk
Please,
to the minister.
You need to get the Minister of Energy to communicate to these people.
Okay, thank you, Madam Speaker. I will do that.
Because they are affecting our Ugandans, it affects the cost of goods because the fuel prices have gone high. And even if you have the money, you cannot be able to get fuel because people are keeping fuel with the expectation of selling it at a higher price. Next item.
Item 3 on the order paper. Bill second reading. The supplementary appropriation number 2 bill.
Honourable members, you may recall that the supplementary appropriation bill 2